Hi guys, welcome to episode 29 of Get Your Buzz On. And I have special guests,
Heather Harmston,
Isabel,
and I'm really excited because they are my besties and we have so much fun together. So I'm glad that we're able to get together. So let's cheers. We have some mimosas going on.
Cheers.
What a way to start a Wednesday.
You hunged all the orange juice. I saw water down.
I know, I was like, do you need more champagne in that?
It's because I'm a baby.
That's weak sauce.
I know, I would prefer more orange juice to champagne.
Well,
I'm on an empty stomach and that just never ever goes well.
Well, I saw like a receipt a couple weeks ago of tequila shots. That
Should we
so
talk
I'm like,
about that day?
oh yeah, Isabel can tell you the great story of how
She offered
much of a
today.
cheap ass I am.
She said, "I'll take all the round of chicken."
Okay, because not to say anything, but like we don't always pay for drinks.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
especially when we go out with people.
Of course.
It's a matter of like you're
Duh.
with a bunch of friends, we have free
Yeah.
events, like everybody always has open bars, so I'm like, I don't know the cost of things. So like I know like okay, maybe like your average tequila shot like a Hornitos is like $7-8 because I like Hornitos.
Yeah.
I'm not bougie when it comes to alcohol, you know?
Yeah.
I mean most of the time it does the trick.
What were we drinking?
Don Julio.
No, was it Don?
18,
Mhm.
19,
Oh yeah, it was.
Because I knew, I was like,
1982,
It was.
82, what's the year?
Yeah.
1892, whatever. I think it's 1942.
1942. Yeah.
Yeah, when Columbus.
Oh my god.
In 1942.
1492!
Oh my god.
So
And
anyways,
we're not-
for that song.
Even been drinking before this.
No, that was my first sip. So we're here with a client who's an investor who has a fancy taste for alcohol. You know who you are. And so we're all eating and drinking, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the tequila. Thinking it's like $100. So they look at me and they're like, really? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And
And
then
then
when
they're like, yeah.
I was like, okay, she's gonna take
I
it.
get the bill, I was like, what the fuck?
What was it? 600?
No, my bill was like $355.
Oh,
It was lunch at Kona Grill. I was like, oh my god, this is the biggest tab I've ever had to pay for, which is fine, but it was a really fun
It was
time.
fun.
It was, yeah.
It was
Oh my
But
hilarious.
then we continued to go to other places. So I think the total bar tab for like just our
That's
drinks
ridiculous.
Just for lunch.
like
Just for lunch.
was like 700 something
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus.
for the three of us.
Well, if you would have bought my shots, I would have been there too.
Yeah.
I know, and I had
She was buying shots.
we were just gonna have one drink.
Were you
per
like
night.
big baller over here?
Yeah, I was like, okay, well then let's do this, Heather.
Nobody had my back.
Yeah, she's
Nobody
like,
had my
I got
back.
this. I'm like, okay.
I know, I'm like this, and I give my card. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, can you guys get the tip? Well, now I've learned my lesson of how much certain things cost.
Yeah.
yes.
Drinks, but because I'm always like drinking Hornitos. That's like my preference of tequila. So
See, I'm not a tequila person. I'm vodka and
Yeah.
champagne, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's so
can't do
good, though.
champagne too much because it's like it's just a totally different buzz.
Yeah.
like you know. So tequila, I feel like it's cleaner for me, and I mean I could do like a couple shots and I'm feeling good, but champagne you always have to mix it with something. I feel like for me because I don't like the taste of it by
Yeah.
itself, and then vodka you have to mix it with something also. And then whiskey, so it's just like
You're like, no.
I know that was really really funny though. And the whole day,
fun.
and then I think the whole tab of everybody's over the course of the whole day. Because then we went to Ruth Chris after, and then we went to a bar and then some tacos and something. So oh my god, it was
More food.
yeah, we had like it was probably $1,000 a day,
Oh Jesus.
and I'm not proud of it, but it happened. It was
Hey,
great.
you know, well, you just want to get the party rolling.
Yeah.
I know, but now I will never.
Never
ever.
again.
Never
One
again.
time deal. That's
Yeah.
it.
Damn it.
I was like, you guys had your fun, but no, it was really fun.
It's not happening again.
I don't know how people spend all the time like $500+ on
Drinks,
bar tabs.
yeah.
I don't get it.
It adds up really quick though.
I know. Oh my god! And then you think about like how much does that have to eat? Like 40 shots. 30,
Yeah.
You know, like I think
It
ours.
wasn't even that many
No,
shots.
because the
That's
shots
the sad
were
part.
$30 a shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in what country is this even legal? Because to buy a bottle of Don Julio is was what, like $50?
Oh no,
No,
Don
it's
Julio's
like
like
200,
100.
right?
Yeah,
This
because
expensive one?
Justin's bougie about that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
well,
your
I
mom
just
too,
went
isn't
to the
she?
liquor store and bought Don Julio, maybe
Yeah.
the lesser brand for
You
a
bought the
gift.
generic.
I bought the blue box. I bought the blue box. I'm sorry, the poor blue box, and it was $50.
No.
Swear,
It was probably like the trial size.
no, it was a legit size. I bought it for my client for his clothing.
Huh.
Wow.
I bought that, and I bought a whiskey. And
Where'd you buy it?
at the liquor store, the wholesale
What
beverage.
is?
At the duty free store. I didn't want to pay the tax on it.
Oh my god.
No, I bought it at the
So
wholesale
funny.
beverage place, whatever, on Besa or something.
No.
You're hilarious.
So I know that you can spend a bottle $50, 52 something was the price of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, tell us about how it's been going with COVID. You can start, Isabel. Well, because you started with residential,
Right.
then you became a police officer for a while,
Right.
and then you were like on the other
Sorry.
side, like pulling me over for tickets,
Yeah.
and then
Which, by the way, you get like 30 a month.
I have a great
Apparently.
attorney. I have a great attorney, Rudy. You're awesome.
Shots for Rudy. 1942 for Rudy.
Because then none of them are on my insurance record.
Are they? Not
Nope.
really?
No.
Wait, what do you get pulled over for? It's just speeding, or is it?
The most random shit.
Talking on
Like,
your cell phone?
well, that too. but-
Yeah.
Well, because sometimes on Bluetooth you can't hear it, or
Yeah.
it echoes,
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
my kids are in the car, so they're like wanting to be a part, and like when I'm going into it, sometimes I don't
Right.
need them to hear the whole conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or they can hear your kids in the background.
But I was literally at this light over here on Vista del Sol, and then the police officer was on the other side, like literally on that side. He literally does a U just to give me a ticket
Wow.
What a
because he saw me on my
stalker.
cell phone. And I couldn't say anything. It was like, you know why I stopped him? I said, yeah, it was on my cell phone. So
Could you imagine if she rolls down there and she's like,
Are you stalking
are you
me?
stalking me?
It's the fourth ticket. Give me
What do
this
you
one.
need? What do you want from me?
You're like, what's going on?
It's like, Mrs. Hahn,
Mrs.
are
Hahn.
we having the same conversation?
that we had yesterday.
I don't even try to talk myself
Do you
out
know
of
that's
it.
my first name by chance?
I think they
They
have my
probably know
car
her.
at the police station.
Yeah.
Like, if you see
Hello.
a white Pathfinder, just stop her because she's probably
Doing
like doing
something
something
she's not
illegal.
That's fine. She'll help us reach our quota.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like a gold
The
star
gold
member.
tier.
I will. I
Gold
probably
star.
am. I was like, I probably am. So you did that. You were on the other side, and then
Yes.
now you're in commercial, right?
Yes. Yes.
So how's that transition?
So, well, commercial was with COVID, it was a little bit slower than residential. Of course, residential is insane right now. So commercial was a bit slower. It's starting to pick up a little more, but I mean, overall, it's been great. It's been a great year for real estate. So,
It's been a year.
Yeah.
It has been crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think people like? Because right now the sellers market is just freaking insane.
Yeah.
But like,
Mhm.
why do you think COVID just made it that way?
well, the interest rates for one are crazy low, you know?
Yeah.
And then everybody's home. Everybody wants, they're finally home. They're seeing where they're at and want a new home, but I think interest rates for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, there's like definitely a multitude of reasons. One is that, well, we can start with the builders because the builders have always had a better like demographic as far as like how many homes they sell versus resale
Yeah.
for like the past 10 plus years, and so they are at a standstill. Their prices are going up, their workers are not working, so they have a shortage. And like I know I've heard some of the builders are like almost at a year wait list for certain price points, especially the lower price points. So you kind of like cancel out, okay, builders don't have much move-in ready product, right?
Yeah.
So that's like one thing. Then you have resales where yes, the interest rates are good for the buyers, but you have a lot of sellers who are not moving because they don't want to move during this time. They lost their job. They can't sell because they won't qualify for another property without a job.
Yeah.
Or they're getting unemployment, making more than what they were making, and there's no incentive for them to move.
Yeah.
So there's not as much like cycling through. So we have a complete lack of inventory. Normally, there's like 3,600 homes
Yeah.
sold on a monthly basis.
How much is it this month?
The average was like 1,700 available homes. versus
Oh,
like
Jesus.
3,600 available homes
Right.
on average. So, and then of course we're not talking about every price point, because that 3,600 or 1,700 is across the board. How many of what to what, I don't know, but that's a big thing. So you have a lot of people going to homes that are the only homes that are available.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare.
It is.
I'm exhausted. I keep telling people I love this career.
Yeah.
I do. But I've worked harder this year and gotten paid less because I'm like in charity right now. I'm doing charity only because as a buyer's agent, I've written up 4 to 5 contracts
Yeah.
for a few of my buyers.
Right.
I've gotten beat out by multiple offers. She knows this.
Yeah.
We've actually looked at similar houses.
Yeah, because we have the same similar client.
Yeah. So we're like,
you saw
what
that
do you
one
think is
too?
gonna happen?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do here?
Yeah.
But so like on the buyer side, it's exhausting to be working with buyers emotionally too, because you have to tell your buyer
It's
sorry.
discouraging for the buyer.
I keep having buyers say like, I'm just gonna rent if I
Right.
don't get a house. I'm like, oh no, you're not. I was like, we've been
Not
working
after
for
all
3
this
months.
work.
I was like, I will build you a house. I have to.
You know what you should do? Just do the analogy where you're like, just get a pile of cash, and then just throw it in the toilet, and then just say that's
Yeah.
what
That's
you're
what
doing.
you're doing.
Yeah,
With the rent.
it's a monopoly money.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's emotional. you
Yeah.
know?
It
It's
is.
emotional
It's
for
really
the buyer.
hard, 'cause I'm
especially
like-
first time home buyers, like they don't get it. They don't
Yeah.
know, and they
And they think, and also they kind of feel like it's you. Like
Yeah.
they don't know better. Because
Right.
nobody has been in this situation
Yeah.
before. And so like if they're only working with you and you cannot find them a house,
Yeah.
can you imagine what they probably think of you?
right.
Like, oh, you either suck as an agent or you're not doing your job, or like what's the problem? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I do suck. I don't know.
But the same thing like with appraisers, like they're
On the
taking
seller side.
a month long, and they think it's the realtor. My realtor's not doing anything for you, but or the lender's not doing anything. But in reality, we're just waiting for the appraiser
Yeah.
to come in.
Probably all of my
So.
files, except for like 2, have had delays in appraisals.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, people don't know how much like the back end of the transaction, like
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens behind the scenes. So they just think like, oh, well, when can we close? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a great question.
You're like, I don't even know. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't.
I wish, but then on the selling side, it's hard because like anytime I've listed a property at a reasonable price point, I've gotten 5+ offers.
Oh, jeez.
And to be honest, like I don't want that.
No, it's
I want a
stressful.
good offer
Yeah.
to present to my seller. I don't want to have to go back and review 11 contracts.
Yeah. And at the
then-
end of the day, most of the offers are going to come in
About
the same.
Yeah.
So there's no point in taking 11 offers. It's
Unless it's cash.
unless
Oh
they
yeah,
got the cash one.
I always
of
hold out for
course.
that cash offer.
Yeah.
But
Because
you
then
know,
you don't have
like,
to deal with
I
all
know.
that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like it's weird. I think we're all experiencing something similar because we
Yeah.
just have never been through it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a challenge for all of us, and I think the clients don't understand that we're going through this for the first time as agents.
Yeah. I
I mean, we
mean,
can only represent you as best we can.
Right.
So.
well, I just think
Learn
too,
as we
like
go.
with COVID, it was just so many question marks, and we still don't even know what's gonna happen in the
Yeah.
fall. And it's just been nuts. Like even Mario was telling me with the new builders, I didn't even think about it. He said, yeah, we have the houses ready, but appliances, because certain
Oh,
parts haven't been
right.
available. He's like, we've been having to get appliances from different places.
Yeah.
I called one builder, the representative for one builder, and we were chit-chatting, and I asked him about closing and stuff, and he's like, to be honest, I don't know. We don't have a stove. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can go buy you a stove
Right.
at Conn's or Home Depot.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm like,
I was like, you should go do it.
I'm like, can we not make this work for a $500 stove?
You're
can
like,
we-
let's just get it done.
Just find
it's
other
crazy though,
avenues,
because
yeah.
I was like, that's why?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is where we're living.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
insane. It's been insane. So I like this whole time has been crazy. How long do you guys think this is gonna? I'm trying to get everyone's estimate on how
I
long
don't
do you
think
guys.
too much longer. I think hopefully it's gonna balance out, once
Yeah.
we start getting a little bit normal, which I think is great.
I think once the elections are over, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
I think so, too.
True.
Although, when I was coming here before, when I was getting ready and primping and working, I was watching Contagion. which is like one of my favorite movies. Have you ever watched
No, I
it?
haven't seen it.
No.
Oh my god, it's like literally what happened is what happening now is what happened.
Really?
It was about a virus that spread and that like the CDC and the World Health Organization and it was this one virus that turned into a pandemic. It's a really good movie. It's on HBO. Well, it's probably everywhere.
Yeah.
But it came out like 6 years ago, or maybe 8 to 6 years ago. It's with Matt Damon and other people. But it's and Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's really good. But it's like legitimately like copy and pasted to what's going on now.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that it's hard because on one hand, if whatever is legitimate, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, so like everybody tends to forget they don't want to get sick, but they don't want it to last long. You know? So it's like really hard. It's like devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be fine by the end of the year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's already starting to level out, I think.
Yeah, well, school's supposed to start for public schools. in a couple
Max is
weeks.
right.
Your
It's
kids are in
waiting.
school, right?
Not till Tuesday.
Not till Tuesday, yeah.
But let me
daughter's
tell
gonna
you,
start on
I
Tuesday,
wasn't.
too.
I couldn't have been happier to write that tuition check.
Yeah.
I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time for you guys. And I think they miss it though.
Yeah, it's needed. It's especially for structure. Like my daughters have no structure as far as like scheduling and all that. It's just they wake up, open the laptop, and
Well, cause what's the age range of your kids?
well, they're in high school, so I have a junior and a freshman, and so for them, I think it's just
Well, and then I
It's
see all
not
these
good.
kids like on their phones too, so they're not really paying attention.
yeah. Like I'll go in her room and she's like dancing. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
get on your computer. She's like with her headphones. Oh, and she's like, I'm like, it's not.
Is she dancing in front of the school?
No, she's like on the
On the
side.
side.
Yeah, like,
But they
on
don't.
her
But they have
headphones.
like all these kids in Zoom, like 30 kids in Zoom or 20.
Well, can you
plus.
imagine for elementary? I think that's sad.
Oh hell.
Poor little kids. You know, like they're in front of a
They
screen.
need social interaction.
Well, and I feel bad because one of my friends, her son's in kindergarten, and they have them like, oh, you need to do emails, you need to do all this stuff, and it's like
What? You
they don't even know how to write,
Yeah.
you know.
A
And so
6-year-old
it's
to
like-
send
let's
an
practice
email.
your spelling
Yeah.
and then send an
Send
email.
an email.
So it's like the parents having to do all this stuff,
Yeah.
and if she was at home, you know, it's just
Yeah, but it's hard because like I work from home and I have my daughters there, and then the little one, and it's just like the house is
Chaos.
crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
chaos because they're in Zoom here, and then I'm on my computer, and it's hard.
oh my god,
I can't wait for them to go back.
You're like, we're all.
I
coming
filled
back.
out the survey. They're like, do you want? I'm like, yes, yes.
You're like,
Send
yes,
them,
yes.
yeah.
I just think like we all like it's the situation. I'm not trying to make light of COVID, but
Right.
you know now we just have to learn how to cope and work our way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like life
have
can't
to
just
move on.
stop.
Yeah.
Like
I
and
agree.
unfortunately, you know, if it does, because I had some people that were like, well, what if you do get COVID? Well, then we'd have to deal with that when it happens. But I just feel like you just can't stop life just for this thing.
Yeah.
We all have to look
Potential.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because every day they're putting out new stuff, and you're hearing all these things, and then you have like, I just don't like people on the real extreme ends of the spectrum, like one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm more like in the middle all the time, and I can see both sides.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's live life, but be cautious.
Yeah.
You know, I've never.
Which can be a good thing, you know, we're learning from
Yeah.
this, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's nice to see that everybody, all the stores are cleaning, you know, they're
Well, like the
wiping down.
restaurants and stuff, like
Yeah, it's
all
nice.
this, and the bathrooms. I've never seen bathrooms so clean
Yeah.
before in my life. I'm
So
like,
it's good. I mean, we can learn from it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think
Oh,
it's
for
nice.
sure.
and
I
then
like
some
when
people
it's
have been
targeted.
nasty. Like Carla Smith, I'm like I was talking to her because she's a germaphobe too, and she's like some people like you go in the street, they would go to the bathroom and not wash their hands. I'm like,
Yeah.
You just see them walk out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're like, okay,
Wash your hands.
wash your hands. I'll take it to the bathroom.
Right? It's like you get a sticker, you get a gold star for your chest.
So I'm just like some of it's like personal hygiene too, like clean your
Yeah,
shit.
like
and,
take a step
And then
back.
you'll be okay. Wash your hands. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, so we just all need to just keep aware of that stuff.
Although I know I've never been more appreciative to not have children right now, because like of course I want.
I know. Do you get to take naps?
She gets.
I'm not a napper to begin with. I wish, but I can't nap. Like I
Yeah.
don't think. I think I've
Is your
tried.
house quiet?
No.
No.
I mean, I have
it's
my
not
dogs.
quiet.
Oh, but
Yeah.
I
it's
know.
not like
I know it's not a
screaming.
comparison.
oh, that's like
But no, I mean, cause I work a lot from home anyways, regardless. So I don't necessarily mind, but like now I'm like, man, I cannot imagine having a child right now with the setup of the schooling and everything, because everybody that has kids wants to pull their hair out. And I'm like, okay, maybe 2022 is going to be or something like that. Yeah. But I'm in no hurry. But I was wanting to maybe have them in the near future, but I'm like,
you're like, let's like pause that. No, it is like I mean,
it's hard.
So are you guys at the same brokerage now? Because you're at Home Pros.
We are at Home Pros.
Okay. We are.
We meet again.
Yes, we are team members and competition.
Actually,
it's good because we kind of have tried to merge our business a little bit since we are just such great friends, and it's like, who wouldn't want to work with friends that have a good chemistry?
Well, and then you trust each other, and then like if certain deals are like, you can be straightforward with each other.
Yeah,
definitely.
So it makes it easier.
And we work the same, the same type of,
energy level.
Yeah.
We're like really no bullshit. Like if the thing is, because like I've had people approach me in the past about working together, and although it's always a great concept, you have to really feel like, okay, is this somebody I want to talk to every day?
Yeah.
And are they gonna make me pull my hair out, or am I gonna enjoy talking to them, or am I gonna like decline their call because I'm like not in the mood?
So, or make you look bad.
And so like I love the fact that Isabel's very intelligent. She's got her shit together, and on top of that, we do have very similar like compatibility with work, and then we're just like we always have good times. we can always like have work and play at the same time.
Yeah, so. We'll be talking about real estate, and then we'll go off to something else.
Oh my god!
And be like, oh wait, go back.
You're like, oh yeah.
Just offer. I asked her the other day how we can be like, because I want to be a private investigator.
Yeah.
So we always just we just ramble a lot. Like we go off on tangents, but it's always good because we get our work done. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a really good,
it's
we have good chemistry.
Okay.
It works out.
Yeah.
So how has it been with COVID, with you working and then the kids and everything being home?
Well, it's been crazy.
Like, have you gotten anything done?
No, I mean, I'm used to working from home, and the girls are older, so they're each in their room and doing their own thing. They'll come out to eat, and then they'll eat, and then we'll eat, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then they'll go back to the rooms, and then they'll do they have basketball. So it's funny because after their whatever last period is, then they'll go to the backyard and they'll do their little drills, and it just looks it's funny. Yeah.
So do they have any like actual team gatherings where they practice?
Not yet, no. So they just do it all through Zoom. So they'll be.
Oh my god!
It's so funny.
Could you imagine learning basketball through Zoom?
Yeah, it's so funny because they're all back there and they're bouncing, they're doing their little drills and whatnot, and you can hear the coach, and so it's funny. And then after that, the older one goes to work. So.
And the baby.
Thank God Ryan works at night because he takes care of her during the day. So
that's good.
He'll take her to X-Zone and
X-Zone's a lifesaver.
Yeah, it is.
Like that place is like awesome.
And it's so close to the house, so gets him tired, he takes her. So
yeah.
And then like for little kids.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's like an indoor playground, but it's massive. They have it super clean, and it's nice for the kids, especially right now because it's so hot.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Urban Air?
Oh, I saw it on the news
yesterday. Is it not similar to that?
Something like that, but not as big.
Oh, okay.
Urban Air has like zip lining and.
Yeah, I went there like 2 weeks ago.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
Because it's a real I don't know how anybody under the age of 7 could possibly really enjoy it because it's like very, very demanding.
Yeah.
Like to do things well, you need to like be older. You need to have your motor skills in order. Like you need to really be able to like use your legs and your hands and strength. Like you need a lot of strength to do whatever.
Oh god, I'd be so bad at that.
No, I think this one's more like for little kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That's cute.
They've got I just like it because it's got a mix that they have little kids, big kids, you can kind of mix it up too.
And it doesn't get packed.
No.
Yeah, especially like during this hour, it's really nice.
It's perfect. Yeah. So that's what I was like thinking, like, okay, Lucas's birthday's coming up, I might have it there but we'll see.
They have nice little party rooms.
Well, let's see too with COVID, God only knows what's going to happen. So I'm like, it's always something.
I mean, like the first week or so, or like first 2 weeks, I think everyone was way more in limbo because you're like, my God, do you know how many freaking canned goods I bought?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is ridiculous. I still have them all on my table.
No, that's me though. I stock up the house, and Justin makes fun of me because my dad, when it was like Y2K, do you remember that?
Yeah.
He,
when all of our technology was gonna be shut down.
He stocked up everything. Like the whole garage was full of food, like everything.
He's like in a public for
like and so he's like, okay, Oscar.
Yeah.
What did you do for this one?
No, I mean I had but I said you didn't have to worry when shit was going downhill and there was no more toilet paper. You didn't have to be like, oh, we don't have toilet paper, we don't have paper towels. Like we always have the fridge stocked because I always have everything stocked. And I'm like, so my Y2K skills came in pretty handy.
Yeah. Did your dad have those same skills for?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he stocked up everything.
Even now, he's like, you have to do it before the election. You don't know what's gonna happen. So.
Oh yeah. See, and that's another thing. It could go better. Or
it could go worse.
So
that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just a side of caution, just an extra. That's why I love Costco. You just prepare yourself.
So we need something. We're gonna go to your house.
I honestly like we really do. I always have it, but you know my kids eat a lot too, though. It's just like crazy.
Yeah.
What do they eat? My little, she's just so picky. She doesn't eat anything.
No. Look, I mean, Lucas is picky too, but Nicole, she's a beast.
She eats everything.
She's a beast. I'm like, I'm always like, oh my God, how much food do you go through?
Yeah.
But they do.
Aww.
They're so cute.
They are.
I love watching their stories where they're like interactive together. It's like.
Are they still fighting?
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
This morning, Lucas was hiding underneath the chair, the kitchen table chair. Because she kept on running into him on the walker. She's like, go away!
She can't even walk and she's already getting him.
So she's like, so he's like hiding from her and she's just trying to run with him and stuff.
God.
But it's always an adventure.
So cute.
I'm like, it's an adventure.
She
has such an attitude.
It is.
Oh, like I said.
I love it.
She always looks mad.
We were at, oh my gosh. I won't say the name or anything on camera, but we were at this kid's birthday party last week. And there was this little girl, and she was quite a terrorizer.
Yeah.
And so I told Justin, I'm like, that's gonna be her
That's
kid.
gonna be her.
I was like, you know, because all the parents were talking about her, like on the, like every side conversation was about this kid.
What about the real parent of the child? Was she involved in those conversations?
No.
She had no idea?
No, she had no
Her daughter's
clue.
an
Everyone
angel?
was talking shit about her kid. and then she even had the little boys lining up to put makeup on.
Really?
Yeah, and then Justin was like, is that Blush? I said, no, he was one of those little boys that she made stand in line. So I was like,
so she had everybody in order.
So that's the
That's
goal.
gonna be the
Oh my God.
So cute.
Oh, it's crazy.
So how's the commercial stuff been? Well, I don't know if you know, I had Peter DeWinter. He's with RJL. And so he was going in because they did like all the Amazon stuff. And so I learned a lot because I'm not in the commercial as much as the residential.
Yeah.
So what has been the big takeaway from that you've learned?
Well, it's definitely not emotional the way real estate is. I mean, residential real estate, residential, it's all about emotion. In commercial, it's just numbers. It's numbers. And I think that's what I enjoy about it. It's whatever the numbers make sense and it makes sense for the investor. So yeah, it's totally different. And I enjoy it. I think after 11 years in real estate doing residential, it's a nice change. Yeah, I'm ready for something else and it's working. So
what made you decide to do it? Were you just like
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and then I met Aniva, and he was like, hey, I need somebody on my team and whatnot. So took one of the classes CCIM, which I needed to take the other ones with Lily. She was messaging me that the other ones are coming up, but so yeah, it was pretty much, we met they were doing that bowling, I don't even know, I don't know who was sponsoring it.
Yeah.
But that's where we met, and we met and we did it, and so it's been good. It's been good, yeah.
And so, but then you guys
learning a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Learning a lot because it's very, very difficult. It's totally different. So.
Well, it takes a lot longer though too.
It does. It does take a lot longer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because he was saying, Peter was saying like one of them had taken like 5 years or like all that stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, the money
is great. I'm
like,
like,
it closes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, am I gonna die before this closes?
Yeah, right. Well, that's me. I don't have the
be alive.
Can we put my commission in a trust for my children?
Yeah. But for
Can
the
I
most
at least get interest on these?
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
For 5 years, but no, for the most part, the clients are they know, and they're less, I guess, as residential, it's more emotional, so they just want it or they don't want it and whatnot, and commercial,
How many people are on the team?
Right now, it's just 3 of us, and then Anibal's son just got his license, so he's doing the residential part of it. So.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, he's doing really well, so it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good, and we all get along as well, and I think that's very important. for
Oh,
us
that
to
makes
get
up
along,
so much
'cause-
more.
Yeah, because if we don't, then you know how that can get.
We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been there. So,
Yeah.
but no, it's been a learning experience, and I'm learning, and hopefully learn a little bit more. And,
Do that.
Yeah.
And how are your flips going? Do you have any right now? Or what's
They're
your-
going. They're going.
Good.
No, I mean, yeah, like
Cause has it affect your contractors and stuff right now?
well, my contractors are fuck ups anyway, so like, I mean, I don't think
COVID didn't affect that.
COVID didn't bring anything that they weren't before.
It didn't bring more brain cells. Or
And I'm not talking about all the contractors because yes, there's some that are good, but like in my past, that's always been my weakness, and I'll take full responsibility for that too, because I mean, it's like I'm sure I'm an enabler of things.
Yeah.
Because I don't go to somebody and say like, okay, show me how it is that you do your job. Just do it, you know?
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna pay you and I see the results, great. And I think I just get too lenient with some guys. Like I had a contractor that pulled the COVID shit on me like 4 times. And they were like, oh, well, okay, yeah, my guys are delayed. And I get it. Like, I do understand that there is some truth to certain things.
Yeah.
But when you hear like, oh, we gotta get tested for COVID, I'm like, for the 4th time, I
Yeah.
was like, give me a break. Just
Yeah.
say you have it already. Like,
Yeah,
at least do a better job of lying to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I get more annoyed when you're like so dumb not to try to at least make up a good lie.
Yeah.
You know? Like at least put some thought into like your deception.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like I do have some flips going, and then I've been like kind of diversifying my business to like do things differently.
Yeah.
Where like I'm doing more investment style things without having to flip them myself. Like I flip them, but I don't really do much rehab to them.
Yeah.
So that's something like that I've been tackling lately, which has been a lot better. And I think if I would have started my business like that, I would have had more fun doing it.
Well, because you're dealing with less people. There's
Yeah,
less
exactly.
moving
You
parts.
don't have to deal with the contractors.
Yeah, like I'm actually in a lawsuit right now with well, it's not an official lawsuit, but like I can't remember if I talked about it the last time I was here, but I have a contractor that we filed a criminal report on him like last year. This was like all the way back in
Jeez.
August of last year, maybe June or July, I don't know, it was in the summertime. And so by December the warrants finally got approved for this guy, and there's multiple people involved. There's myself, another client who's a realtor, one of my partners, and then probably like more people. If you really like open up the floodgates, you'll probably find a ton of people.
Yeah.
So he had his stuff activated back in December. It took until March for him to get arrested because he pulled a traffic violation, that dumbass. And he blew like a stop sign or ran a red light, and so he got arrested. And of course they saw that he had all these warrants, so they arrested him, and I think he bonded out. But then what a fuck up. He's a real bad guy. He's a fucking douche.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Still, that's what this is for.
he's an
Yeah.
idiot. So we're still, it's a long-term thing that we're going through, and I
Yeah.
would not wish it upon anybody, but it's really too easy for these people to let. Everybody says, oh my god, just do this guy, just do it. Like,
It's not, yeah.
I'm
it's
like,
not-
bitch, when are you gonna get your money? Like,
Yeah.
12 years from now, you're gonna pay more than you would. So I kind of put it away, like, okay, I'm not gonna get my money back. If this
Right.
person gets any sort of punishment, great. If I get $1 back, awesome, but I
you're
don't
not going
foresee
to.
it.
Right.
So, like, emotionally, I'm kind of checked out. But, if I have every opportunity to make his life hell, I will.
Yeah.
So, we're facing that right now, and that kind of was like the turn off for me, where I'm like, God, I don't really know how much more I want to work with contractors to that level.
Yeah. And that was like what, a year, 2 years into your investment. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been doing this for now. It's almost 5 years.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, my first successful one was almost 5 years ago, but
That's insane.
we learn a lot when we go through the process, and I don't have as much tolerance as I used to. Like, I love people that really just absolutely take pride in their work, because it shows like, oh yeah, of course I want to get your business and I want to do more things, but like I love what I do.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to come by here.
It really is.
No joke. Even like the builders they have a great system, most of them, you know, where they have this long term, but I'm just not at the place where I'm going to have people on salary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like have my own construction company, and I'm not at that place. So for me, that's been always the disadvantage.
Yeah.
I can't monetize their hourly pay. So I just hate babysitting.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Well, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
they're the contractors, and that's why we hire them.
I know. So I have a good one, and then I have a shitty one, and then you get a good one, and then you get another shitty one. So it's like, okay, now I'm just trying to cut through the BS.
Yeah.
Okay, like how can I figure out, like this one guy tried to give me a quote the other day for something. I won't reveal who he is. And he was like, okay, it's gonna cost me this, but I can get you this price if you give me more work. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, you told my mom $200 less earlier. Yeah. It was for my house. And he was like, oh, but okay, I can do it for that. And he's like, but I need to know by today. And I was like,
oh no.
I was like, first of all, if I do want to go with you and I tell you in 3 days from now if I want you to do it, you'll do it for that price, or you just won't do it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be on anybody's time clock.
Yeah.
And so that kind of turned me off right away, and I was like, he might be a really, really good contractor.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the way that it was approached. Like,
Yeah.
well, I need to know by today. I'm like, for what? What is it? My offer
You're
gonna
like-
expire or
Yeah.
something? Like,
Yeah.
You're like, you're gonna need the business.
I don't know. I'm like,
Y'all
first of
do.
all, my house ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, are you trying to get out of the country? What do you need to know for
Yeah,
by
What's
today?
going on now?
The rent's due, Heather.
I
Rent's due.
Oh shit, it was right
Yeah.
before the first. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I need to know now.
Like, if not,
I'm
we
like,
go
well, I'll
somebody
tell you yes, but we're not starting a job for 3 weeks, okay? So
Yeah, you know, like,
so
it's all
pay your
good.
rent the
else.
other
So you can
way.
pay October. That's
That
October's
is
rent.
so funny. I never thought about that.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was.
Like, it's desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it sucks because, like, I mean, I'm sure we can all attest to this, no matter what business you're in, if you have a more dominant, like, assertive energy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she was difficult. Oh my god, she was a bitch. I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I gave you money, didn't I?
Yeah,
paid
I
you.
got done.
You're
The
welcome.
check cleared, didn't
I
it?
was like, how many other women are bitches to you and they don't pay you? Okay? I'm like, so suck it up.
I just think I'm just to the age that I just can't take excuses. I
Yeah.
can't. It's like, you know, because I plan my day, I have my kids, like, no matter what goes on, even I had Jessica's podcast a couple weeks ago, and my car stopped working. So, you know what? Problem solving mode. I gotta get an Uber, because she has her kids, and she made the time to come out. I know she's busy too. But, you know, I still made it.
Right.
I didn't want to cancel and do all that stuff. So I just get annoyed with people when they have a bunch of excuses, or when someone's like, well, I can't do this. Well, then tell me what you fucking can do.
Yeah.
And that's what annoys me. And then right now, too, with COVID, that's really annoying me, is like a lot of the places are having like 1-800 numbers and stuff, and then they have long waits for everything. And it's like, you're being passed along, and then that's what pisses people off.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, you're wasting my time. I've been on the phone 2 hours just to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because I'm like, I'm sorry you're taking my abuse right now, but I have absolutely no one else to give it to.
No.
I was like, I would have been nice to you 3 hours ago, but now I'm not.
No, you're just like annoyed because you're like, I could do so much more in my day, and instead I'm just here.
But it's the
just
same
thinking,
thing with real estate, you know, like if you have, you know, you'll call lenders or whatnot or whoever, and you just need an answer, and they don't want to give you an answer. It's like, it's okay if you're gonna give me a bad news. I just need to know.
I need to know the truth.
Yeah,
please.
just let me know if it's bad. Okay, you know, so we can figure out what we're gonna do. But don't avoid me. You know, just answer. It takes 2 minutes to answer a text.
And I feel like a lot of times when you do, the clients appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm like, hey, you know what, like, your premium is high because you have a pit bull, so it's going to be higher. Or like, you just have to give them, this is the facts, and they can do whatever they want. And they're like, oh, well, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, instead of giving you the runaround.
It's too easy too, because like, especially with everything going on, I mean, there is very minimal face-to-face communication anymore. I mean, we're still not allowed to go to closings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people like loan officers are working from home most of the time, or the title companies possibly are working from home. It just depends.
Yeah.
So you can't go in, like I can't even go into my bank right now. I have to use the drive-through every single time.
Don't even. I like that was another thing with Wells
I hate that shit. That like set. First of all, I can never reach the goddamn UFO little.
No, I was so annoyed because Wells Fargo, the one on Edgemere. Oh, Edgemere. So you're telling me the one in Lee Trevino and the one on Geronimo, they can open up. And I'm not saying you have to have everyone. Just have a line outside, one person in and out. Right. It's easier. They had their ATM machine down, so I had to get cash. So then they don't open up till 9. So I'm there in the line at like 8:45 because I was like, okay, I'll wait 15 minutes just to get cash. Then I go, waiting takes forever. Then you get to the thing and they're like, well, you need, so I fill out the slip and they're like, well, you need to get a cash withdrawal slip. Okay. And you don't know your account numbers off the top of your head. Yeah. So you have to pull up all these fucking numbers. Then you're putting it off. Oh, okay, well, we still need your ID. So I'm like sending it up and down. This is going, and I was like 30. I didn't leave the bank till 9:30.
Victor was like, give me my $20.
I was so pissed. I was like, do you know how inconsiderate? You guys don't realize people's time, and this is what pisses people off. If you know the ATMs are out, why wouldn't you just say, hey, one person can come in at a time? I get you don't want to let everyone in, but you also have to respect people's time, and it's easier for the tellers just to have I was like, so you want me to wait in this long ass line for an hour?
Simple.
Yeah.
I know.
So I was fuming, and then they're like, well, we can't open up, and I said, so you're telling me the Lee Trevino and Geronimo Wells Fargo can open up, but you guys can't. That I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
What was their excuse?
They're just like, because we're not as big. I'm like,
oh, you're not gonna be.
The line.
Maybe it's because your customer service.
Yeah. But it just pisses me off because people don't care about like people's time and being inconsiderate. So like I'm always caring about if I'm wasting people's time or what. Exactly. But when people just don't give a shit, that's what pisses me off.
Yeah. I had my wallet in the car one of the days where it was like hotter than hell outside, I guess. And so my wallet morphed my cards a little. Like my card became like, it was like almost like it wasn't straight anymore. And it changed to like the shape of my wallet. So I went to go to my ATM because I bank at Weststar. And so I put the card in the ATM and it stole my card. And of course it was a weekend, and I was like, oh,
and what did it give back to you?
No, it didn't. And all it said was service temporary unavailable. So I had to take a picture of it because I was like, no. So I called the bank the next Monday, and I was like, listen, I need a new card because you guys jacked my card. And I was like, is it in there? Can I have it back?
Yeah.
I guess they don't
change everything.
Oh, I know. They don't. I guess they don't talk to the ATM people. So I was like, okay, well, go ahead and cancel my card, but I need to get a new one. And Weststar, I love them, but they are more difficult than some banks as far as like, you know, card activity, fraud alerts, things like that.
It's very sensitive.
It's very exclusive.
Yeah.
So the one that I do is Paisano, but they have their main branch at downtown or Lee Trevino. Yeah. So I was like, okay, they're like, you can go in to one of those branches to get a new card. You just have to make an appointment. I was like, that's fine. So I go, I make an appointment at the Lee Trevino branch. This asshole cash guy, which I already told my bank about, I was like, you guys have the best customer service, and they are really like, they are downgrading your level of customer service. Yeah. He made this snarky ass comment because I gave him my ID, and he's like, well, which account is it for? Because I have 3 there. I have a business.
Yes, and then it's like, because you have one for taxes, and they're like, well, why don't you have an ATM? Because I don't need to have an ATM. I don't want to have access to this account.
Oh, I know. I was like, I don't really ever use it, but this one, no, he's like, well, which account is it for? I was like, I don't know. Why don't you look at the activity of my accounts and see which one I use last?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, this is what he told me. He's like, well, most members know their account number. I was like, nah, fucking me. I was like, you're lucky if I know my name half the time. Like, what do you want from me, you know? Yeah. So I was like, is that right? I was like, okay. He was so rude. And I was like, well, I guess I'm the fuck up. So let me get my information and get my card. So he's like running it. Well, their machine's broken. It just so happened to be broken. I was like, okay. I was like, so I went out of my way to drive all the way to Lee Tribunal to get an appointment to do this. And I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and you're telling me you can't give me a card. I was like, can you bring it? Can you mail it to the Paisano location? Like, can you send a runner?
Yeah.
No, we cannot do that. I was like, okay, well, I don't want it mailed to me. It's going to take 7 days.
Yeah.
I was like, can you rush it? And then he had the nerve to tell me, well, we can rush it, but it's going to be at your cost. I'm like, fuck my life. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
And I was, just his attitude.
Yeah, I know which one you're
off.
talking about because I just went for a card recently and he was kind of like,
He was very sassy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they made you stand there and take off your mask and look at the camera.
He did, I think so.
Yeah.
And but I didn't like the fact that he was calling me out for not knowing something, and I was like, I have 3 accounts with you guys.
Yeah.
I am so apologetic if I don't know the exact data to
I
have you help me.
I just feel like people wanted to do their job. It was
Yeah.
so then when I called, they're like, oh, well, that one account, they're like, oh, well, if you get an ATM, you could, and I said, well, your ATM wasn't working, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
How could I do that?
And so I was like, and then again, I'm like, you guys just don't want to work.
Yeah.
So Isabel, what's something that most people don't know about you? Because if you guys don't know, Isabel was scared to be on camera by herself.
Who's that? She said that?
Yeah, she was like, I'm really awkward on camera.
You're really awkward in life, isn't it?
No, I just don't like it. I don't like the attention. I don't like it. I don't like it. But
She's like, I really don't like the attention.
But on the weekends.
But on the weekends, I love a lot of attention. You should have had a podcast on the weekend. She would have been all over it.
I know. She would have been like, it's all good.
I don't know. I think my life is pretty much out there. You know, also I had the other day. Well, I think you saw. I don't know if you saw that I had like a stalker on Facebook and whatnot. So
Yeah, what happened?
well, I ended up filing a police report on him. The detective was able to contact him and just pretty much tell him to quit his shit. So I haven't heard from him since. Yeah, if he calls me again, then they will go out there and.
So how did he get a hold of you? He just was like.
That's the thing is that, you know,
'Cause
I'm all over Facebook. You can just Google my name and you'll probably find all my addresses and, you know.
Yeah, don't put that out there.
Nobody
Don't tell the basic people how to get a hold of us. She's like, okay, if you really want to know where I live.
That's because we're in sales too.
It
like,
is, and that's the thing is like my life is always just
Our phone numbers
it's
are
available,
public.
yeah. So there's, I mean, I am who I am. Like there's nothing else other than, you know, real estate, my kids and whatnot. You know, like I don't do anything outside the house.
Can you play like some Hallmark music when she said, I don't have anything else? Can you do like a little like
It's just my kids.
like a little musical?
Such a blessing.
Like those
Little devils.
Well, I saw like a meme that was like 7 o'clock moms are like, or like 7 in the morning. Oh, my kids are blessing by 3. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. They're only a blessing when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
They're like angels, but when they're
Or like married people, like when it was like the COVID, when people were having the lockdown, it was like, you're not hearing blessed to be with my spouse. Like
on Facebook,
Yeah.
it's not blessed anymore.
Blessed to have our job still.
Yeah, like
So we don't have to see each other.
Yeah, now you're stuck with one another. But me and Ryan, like,
You're gonna
we've
say like
always-
blessed to have his large house so we can get away from each other.
yeah, so we can be in separate rooms.
oh my god.
That should be your new marketing. Like, oh, I'm so glad I went with that 5th bedroom.
Yeah.
I thought I would never need it, but it's my own personal
That's where I
bedroom.
go and hide from the kids.
Yeah, you're like
I do though when I make phone calls, like I'll go to the laundry room, I'll go to the closet, and then you
Yeah.
can hear my little 3-year-old yelling all over the place. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
like,
she's so cute though. I would tolerate that.
You're like,
Mhm.
no, well,
She'll
but you're
take
trying
care.
to talk and then they're like,
yeah, and then she's like, mommy, and I'm like, stop.
Oh my gosh, she's so sweet. She starts texting me every now and then
She'll
through
text
Isabel's phone,
her.
and I'm like, I know it's her.
You're like-
She's like, hey, hi.
Yeah.
oh my god.
And I'm like, hi,
Yeah.
baby, beauty queen.
She'll get my phone and she'll be like, I'm gonna text Heather.
And I send her like all these appropriate memes, like the unicorns and because
I love how you say appropriate.
Appropriate.
I can't send her any of the stuff we send each other.
No.
I have to look like children's memes.
Yeah.
Children's memes. Oh my god, you're
Like
hilarious.
sparkles.
So yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And how about you, Heather? Is there something that...
What's something we don't know about you, Heather?
I think all of us are pretty much open books about everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
I've
that
never
we've been
been.
around for so long that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not, like, always personal, like, I don't always put forth my personal life, but I have no problem sharing it. Like, if somebody asks me, it just depends on who you are and why you would need to know.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, I feel happy. Like, my business has been amazing this year, but it has been really exhausting. Just, like, adjusting and figuring out how to work through this crazy market that we're in. And then I miss my friends, of course, and I miss traveling. That's like the one thing I really miss, traveling. I could definitely use a vacation. But just like a change of scenery.
Yeah.
That's about
I've
it.
seen a lot of people go to Mexico lately.
Oh my god, I'm like, oh, fuck you guys all.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same place they go to, and I'm like, why are we not going?
You're like, what's going on?
I'm like, if I have to get COVID to go to a beach, I'm fine.
I'll do it.
Damn. I'm like,
sign me up.
but I think it's a lot better now. I mean, people haven't been going that often. Like, I think they started going probably like
Recently.
a couple months back ago.
I'm like, I don't know. I go back and forth. I'm like, do I want to fly with a mask all day? Do it. What am I?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just think about all this.
Like the logistics.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
Well, I think with the kids it's kind of hard. But
yeah.
Just a couple
Well,
things
too, because
kinda
like
nice.
if you get it and then you have to be isolated for 2 weeks, like
Yeah.
that would kill me.
Yeah.
You know. So if it was just me,
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot more outdoorsy stuff, like hiking and stuff, and
I
that's
hate
been the only
nature.
thing-
Remember when we went on that hike? We and all the time.
That I left.
So Justin, he tricks us all in. He says we're gonna go hiking. It's gonna be simple.
That's
you know?
the last time I've been
He
hiking.
got,
by the way.
me, Ryan, Victoria. Was Eric there?
Desiree,
Belinda.
Belinda.
So everybody, we're all gonna go hiking. It's super
Yeah.
easy. Blah blah blah. So we're hiking and we're not even like a quarter way. If I would have known that was a quarter, I would have.
Where did you guys go?
We went to the highest peak.
But on the west side, or
Yeah,
Oh,
in Franklin
okay.
Mountain. What was the name of that peak?
is it where the elephant is?
I think it's higher than that.
Okay.
It's the highest one in El Paso.
Oh, shit.
And we didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I
I
didn't
know.
either.
I'm glad I didn't know.
Where is there like a trail, or
There's
is
a
it really
trail.
back? Like,
Yeah.
But it's like rocks for like a mile.
It's
like
ridiculous.
yeah,
It's so hard.
hard.
So we're like not even near.
And I was
to
in
the
way
end.
better shape. Than,
Victoria was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. F you guys, I'm going home. And she really turns around by
That sister
herself.
was literally like, you cannot leave.
Yeah.
You cannot like. What if
It's
something
dangerous.
happens? I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going. And we're like arguing like with everyone there. He's like,
Yeah.
you're really gonna leave everyone? And everyone's like, no, don't go. I'm like, hell no. I'm like, I'm done with
And I
this
should have
shit.
took off with her because
Yeah.
I didn't know what was coming. So she took off. She went home, and we finished it. We were all in pain.
How long was the hike?
I don't know. It was terrible. And it was like in February, so it was cold, it was windy, and we went back to her house and we all like passed out.
Everyone's just like they're like so
It
tired.
was Justin like, hey,
Justin
hey,
was like,
guys.
let's do it again. He was even like putting videos on.
Oh,
for us and
totally. If
stuff.
he wants to go hiking again, I'll go. I
It's
love a good hike.
ridiculous.
No, it's like
No, you don't like that.
it's not pleasant. at all.
Yeah, and I was in shape then too, like you said. Like that was when we were
I were
at
in
peak.
shape. Yeah, now I wasn't even
No
make half a
way.
mile
Yeah.
on the. It was like
Yeah.
So I'm glad he didn't tell us what it was, because otherwise I would have done that. Never again, Justin.
I'll do it. If you guys want to, I'll do it.
Heather, you
would-
I take Penelope
It's
hiking
not, it's bad.
3 times a week in McKelligan Canyon. It's not a real hike because it's like cement.
Oh no,
roads.
this is no cement.
Just
It's like
jagged
rocks.
rocks.
But we've gone hiking 4 times in New Mexico, like in the mountains.
In the Gilas.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can go with Justin then.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
go.
Justin.
I would go hiking.
And he wasn't even wearing like the proper shoes. He was like in his.
Because he was like reliving his Boy Scout days.
He did it like nothing. Like he was all excited about it. I'm like, you're insane. Never again.
He's a total outdoor man.
Yeah, he is.
He
We totally.
Was
are
Eric
opposite.
bitching?
No, I mean we all did
You
it.
guys all. I
Like,
was
we
the one.
just-
I was the worst one. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck
she's
this.
the one that just like turned around and she's like,
And then
I'm
just
done.
like, I'm not gonna let you go by yourself. I'm like, well, I am going.
You're like, boss of me. You will not tell me what to do.
I'm like, I've done myself, and he's like, what if something happens? I'm like, hello.
I can see her
I've got
trying to
sick.
call a goddamn Uber helicopter. Like, can you pick me up, please?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's hiking up and she's getting like
a helicopter.
taken away by a helicopter.
Like the lifelock lady. That's how bad
calls
that hike
emergency
is.
It was really
services.
bad. Yeah, she
Heather
just
has
turned
no
around.
idea how bad that hike
Yeah.
is. And
I'm leaving. It was
So
bad.
how long was the whole hike, like time-wise?
I don't
I
even.
don't even remember because it's been so long.
Like
But
4
It was a
remember
blur.
It was a few hours. Yeah, it was insane. And it was
Yeah.
all like she said. It's all rocks and it's turns and up.
And you're like climbing stuff. It's
yeah,
not
like
just
you're
like
climbing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Never
Yeah.
again.
no.
I
So-
remember one time I hiked. It wasn't a long hike, but it was it's up to the star.
Yeah,
We hiked like
I've never
where
been
we were
there.
under the star when it lit up, and it's
That's
not a
illegal.
long hike.
just
I already did it.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do now about it? Like, oh, my bad.
Everybody does it.
I'm like, there's a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes to illegal.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it already happened.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
take me away. No, but it's not like a very long hike, but it's just straight up. Like it's a very steep hike, but it was so awesome. But we did do it at night right before it went up. And actually, I mean, if it's illegal, there's a lot of people that
Well, they do it because they have the trail for like the utility company to go
Yeah.
out there. So, but I see people that do it all the time.
The utility company trail starts, I think, about halfway up. So you have to do like a pretty, it's like a little rigorous like
Yeah.
incline. But then once you get there, you can follow the road or you
Yeah.
can just continue up straight.
Straight.
But it's so cool once you get up there. I couldn't even tell you how we got up there, but it was really awesome.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, she's like,
never
I'll meet you
again.
at the bottom after I come from Bonagons.
I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah,
Ever.
she went home and made us a night. But the good thing is that she went home, cooked.
I made
and so
everyone.
we
Yeah,
got
I
home
was
and we were
like,
like 8.
and then everyone passed out.
We passed out on the stairs.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was pre-kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now life has changed
Now
quite
life has
drastically.
changed. We don't hang out like that anymore.
All right. So what's like right now, what I've been seeing, especially right now with social media and everything like that, what's the biggest challenge when dealing with like the seasoned agents to the ones that are just coming out right now?
Well, I think for the most part, most realtors have adjusted. I mean, every now and then you run into a realtor that won't do anything as far as technology goes. But, and the same thing with sellers, you know, like I had a seller the other day who would not do anything by email and I had to meet him halfway.
Are you
just to
serious?
sign a disclosure. Yeah,
I
it
do
was,
that too.
I was like, I haven't done this in like 10 years, but you know, we do it and we get over it and it's done. But I think for the most part, everybody has adjusted to at least emails and electronic signatures. But you know, social media is the way to go now as
Yeah.
far as like advertising and whatnot. But
I mean, I think what I can always appreciate about the real seasoned agents is that they're more by the book. So
Yeah.
they do have a better business practice of like being more thorough, because that is really, really important to I think a lot of new people forget that, because I think what has happened is like you have your old school agents who are, they're used to, I don't know what like the amount of closings like an average agent 20 years ago would do. I'm not sure of like the statistics, but I know that everything was much harder to accomplish. Everything was face to face, in person. It wasn't as easy as electronic signing and all this stuff. And then of course the MLS listings were not the same. Everything had to be more thorough and more thoughtful than it is now. So it was just ingrained in you to have a better work ethic back then, I think.
Yeah.
And the problem is that you have all these people who want to come into the industry because it's such a huge moneymaker, which it can be, absolutely. And it's more like they're really good marketing people.
Yeah.
They're not good real estate agents. They're good at marketing themselves in their suits, in their Rolexes, in their cars, in their leased cars, whatever, you know? And so like you have this like real big like line between like the people that you can call on for advice that maybe they're a little dated, they're not really up and up with the new marketing tactics, or like, hey, this is actually acceptable, it's not a violation of anything, versus people that just don't know shit in general. And they're like, hey, I can market your house, I can sell your house. I'm like, how about you know how to fill a contract? Can you protect your clients? Can you protect other agents? Because like if I did a deal with Isabel, I know that we would have a good transaction on both sides. I've had to do the work for double for many people because they're more focused on getting the leads and not retaining them, or like getting the leads and not being consistent. I'm sure people know us in the industry, whether they know us for good or bad reasons, but I feel like I don't think you could say that either one of us have ever done bad business.
Yeah.
You know, like I think people, whether you're a bitch to me or not, I'm still gonna do a thorough transaction.
So when I'm looking at a home, like what do I look for like in a realtor that you would recommend, or like what are the signs that you're like, oh, this guy doesn't know or this girl doesn't know what the hell she's doing?
Communication is one thing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where I don't BS my clients anymore.
Right.
Just to try to keep them as a client.
Yeah.
Like if they want to tell me something that I feel is unrealistic, I'm just like, I can't work with you.
Yeah.
If that's the case. Because it's a waste of their time, it's a waste of my time, especially when you talk to sellers.
Yeah.
When you're talking to sellers and you want to tell them a real conversation about how much their house is worth, what the process is really like, what they have to do if it doesn't appraise, what they have to do if the people want inspections, you can't sugarcoat it just because you want to get a listing.
Yeah, no, you have to be upfront. You can tell them that you're going to sell it for this all day long, but that's not what you want. You know,
Yeah.
you need to tell them, take the emotion out. This is what you need to do to your house. This is what we're going to do, and this is the game plan. And I think they appreciate you a little more when you're upfront with them. And it's expected. You know, like we talked about the appraisal before we listed it. Here we are, and this is what it is. You know, it's no surprise. So I think if you just give them the whole scenario up front, then
I'm more thorough up front than I was before.
Well, yeah, because then you're like, we talked about this.
Yeah, because unfortunately when you're a new agent, you don't know to have those conversations with people because you have not gone through it.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe you do 5 years of real estate without having an appraisal fall short. Or maybe you do X amount of deals where nothing has gone wrong, so you don't know how to like prepare your clients for the hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
But what I have learned and what's kicked me in the ass too is like if you prepare them for a hypothetical, if it ever becomes a reality, it's not your fault.
it's not a surprise.
It's not, and they don't feel like you're a shitty agent or they're, because they are incredibly emotional.
Well, because you're setting the expectations up front. You're like, this and this can
Yeah.
happen. And if it does, you're like, we talked about that in the beginning. And I mean, the same we do with the insurance too, is that we try to let people know ahead of time, like, hey, you know, we are going to be the lowest rate because we have 80 different carriers. But if you're going to go lower, you're not going to have any coverage. You're just pretty much paying for a sheet of paper, and we won't even do that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's just the more realistic you are with the client, the more if they go, then it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If they want to work with you, then great. If not, then somebody else can work with them, and there's enough out there for everybody.
Yeah, there is enough business out for everyone.
Oh my god, yeah. And it really does take like a sense of self to know like I can give up this business because it's not going to be good business for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they come back, I always want to open my arms to anybody that tries another route before me or after me or whatnot. But I've never had a client be disappointed because I wasn't as forthcoming as I could have been.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like if you're an agent and you work with, I can tell right away if an agent has experience based on the contract that they give me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And I think Russell talked about it the other day, like filling out the agent's side, and it's like just do it. Like, we have access to track, we have access to their license number, and if you fill it out, it makes you look like a better agent, and it doesn't take that long to just fill it out. And there's some realtors that will just send it in blank and make you fill it out, when in reality they could have just taken an extra 5 minutes to do it. So it's just little things like that I think you learn, you know, along the way. And I think the broker has a lot to do with it. You know, I started with a franchise company, and my broker was Andrew at the time. He's amazing, you know, and I think I learned a lot from him. And I think where you start is definitely the foundation of how you're gonna learn your business. And I think it's important for realtors when they start to start with a good broker.
Well, and that's what I think, like, because I was talking to Jonathan. Well, and I talked to everyone. I said the thing is that each brokerage has their niche. So with real estate, there's so many different opportunities that you can do. So figure out which one you're wanting to do, and then get with somebody that's an age, like, that has been doing it a while, instead of somebody that's like a couple years old, and like say, hey, how long have you been doing it? I want to work at this brokerage, and just learn. Yeah. Because I just think sometimes people just get into it and they don't really know what they're
getting into. Yeah. It's one of those things that you won't learn until you do it. You know, you can go to class all day long, but until you actually experience it, I think that's when you kind of learn. But
yeah, and I think people also forget that having a mutual respect for the other agent is really important, because you don't want another agent making your life hell on the other side, or you really don't want to be doing double the work for somebody. But there's always a way to approach it to where it's more constructive. And not to say like that I am a high horse and I know more, but I've been in the business 10 years now. And I've learned a lot along the way. And so if anybody ever has any questions, I had this one agent, because multiple offers are like a very new thing here as far as how many multiple offers we're having. We've had some years where multiple offers are great and they're an awesome scenario, but now it's out of control. Like this whole year, the multiple offer situation is disgusting. And I don't think it favors really anybody. So there was an agent that super sweet, I cannot remember her name, but I was like the most humbled I've been in a long time, because I had a listing and she sent me an email, and unfortunately her offer didn't win. We didn't pick it. But she actually emailed me and said, do you have any advice? She was newer. She's like, I'm just having a really rough year. I've only been able to do 2, and I'm just trying to figure out this whole multiple offer situation. Like, how could I have offered better? And I was like, God, that is the nicest thing I've heard in a long time. Like, I wanted to like take her under my wing and like give her business that I couldn't have, because I was like, I've never had anybody ask me like, how can I be better for my clients? And I thought it was I just was like super touched by it.
Well,
and I reached out to her and I was like, listen, if you ever have questions, you call me. If you're doing another offer for another listing agent and you want to ask another person's advice, because it's really hard to figure out, okay, how can I try to get the best offer on the table? And there's so many strategies, you know, and some are great and some are not, and some are great and they don't win. So I just thought that was like one of the best things I've heard in a long time.
And at the end of the day, we're gonna work together eventually, you know. So you don't want to have bad blood with that realtor. You want to make sure, you know, hey, they want to sell, they want to buy. Let's just figure it out. You know, like there's no need to be rude. There's no need to be, you know, uptight or whatnot. Let's just meet in the middle and figure it out. And next time they get an offer and there's multiple situations or multiple offers, and they'll probably pick yours because you're a good realtor, you know, versus somebody that you had an issue with on the previous offer. So
I think this year has taught me a lot about building relationships with the other agents. Because I've always had like decent rapport with most agents that I've worked with, but I've gone out of my way this year to make it more pleasant, because I can really, really appreciate the fact that like we did win. And then also like I know that realtors have more power than we think when it comes to like going over things with our clients. So we have
because they look for us for guidance, and that's what we do, you know. And we want to make sure that we present them. But like we said, it's not just the offer that comes in; it's the lender, it's the realtor, it's a bunch of other factors that come into it that you have to look at.
I will deny certain lenders now.
You're like, no,
based on the whole experience I've had this year. And maybe not certain lenders, but certain loan officers. I will. I will tell them like, maybe you can bring me an offer with another loan officer. You know, and I'm honest to my client, because I'm like, listen, this is an exact replication of what happened. You know, like this is my experience and my only experience with them.
No, that's true.
Sorry. That's what you're paying me for.
That's true. Well, how can they get a hold of you if they, each of you, if they want?
Well, we're both at Home Pros now, and of course my number is on my website, but you can reach me at 915-691-9408.
Like we need like a theme song for the numbers. I'm also at Home Pros, and you can reach me at 915-317-2836. We're very active on social media.
You can text us, call us, email us, send us a message on Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Well, thanks for being on the show, guys.